This film will be about the stories of individual struggles, about the role of the poor in mainstream religion, and ultimately about the function of class in America.
If you're someone of a minority, if you're someone who doesn't have money, you're not going to get a fair shot in that court system. Doesn't matter how many letters or who's coming to see you, it's retribution with them. It's almost vengeance with them now.
By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, and there we wept, when we remembered Zion. On the willow trees there we hung up our harps, for there our captors asked us for songs, saying, "Sing us one of the songs of Zion." How could we sing the Lord's song in a foreign land?
In 1985, a rather clandestine group of Presbyterians began meeting early mornings to discuss the possibility of having a church for ex-prisoners and their family members. Ministers and clergy people across the board, we welcome prisoners into our congregation. There's no need for a separate church.
The Church of Gethsemane is a member congregation of the Presbyterian Church USA, but it's uniquely different.
Chibuzi Okorie.
Helene means.
First, the members and the leaders are prisoners, ex-prisoners, their family members, and anyone else who wishes to be in solidarity or ministry with the poor.
Peace.
My name is Anthony Simpson.
Mary Elizabeth Fitzgerald.
Secondly, it's comprised predominantly of Black and Hispanic persons.
My name is Rosemary Napoli.
My name is Ray Rios.
But most importantly, it's comprised of the poor.
Nathaniel Wright.
Tyrone Thompson.
We moved here in March of 1986. All hell let loose when we moved in.
They were very threatened by the thought of having former prisoners.
We were going to rob their stores, have problems with their families. We were riffraff coming into their neighborhood.
Reverend Liz Alexander is the current pastor of the Church of Gethsemane. She's been the pastor there for nearly 5 years. Her economic background was significantly different than those she pastored to, and she had no real experience with the criminal justice system.
I came to Gethsemane not having any idea how much this church would be supportive of me in my own struggles, in my own life. The bad news is that my daughter Dawn has been incarcerated for the past 3 months. The good news is that she will most likely be released to a drug program. When my daughter was incarcerated, she has had a problem with drug addiction for years. And she spent the last 3.5 months now in prison in California. She started taking the 7-part membership course, thanks to Chibuzi, and she wants to become a member of the Church of Gethsemane.
Dear brothers and sisters at Gethsemane, peace and God's blessings to all of you. I have 6 months until my next parole board, which will be my 5th time going before the parole. And I know the world is not the same world I left 31 years ago.
Project Connect is a program funded by the church. Every third Sunday of every month, we write letters to those in prison.
Those letters, sometimes they come at times when there weren't no other letters from no one else.
This is really special to me because I remember how important those letters were when I was incarcerated.
Yes, good morning. This is Minister Chibuzi Okorie from the Church of Gethsemane in Brooklyn. Inmate Anthony Simpson is being released today. Yes, I'm sure. Hello? Hello? In 1989, upon my arrival, I got involved with people who were dealing drugs. I spent 18 months in prison. After I was released, I came to the church. I'm facing a deportation proceeding now because of my 1989 conviction.
I've been to court a few times to testify on his behalf because he has been instrumental in me staying home and staying well and being part of the community.
It's just a travesty that there's even a chance that he might be deported.
There's a lot of things you have to do,
Yeah,
and God will give you the strength to do that. And remember, I'm not gonna leave you. I'm not gonna leave you.
I appreciate it.
I gotta work with you. The first time I met Anthony, I visited him in prison. He was surprised that I would come and see him. And I told him that this is part of my job.
You know what? My senses, everything is opening up now. I smell Franks and all that. I never smelled that back then.
Got out of prison on June 22nd, and I've been in prison for 24 years.
Let's give Anthony a warm welcome. I understand you already know a few folks here.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm very nervous, that's number one.
The experience of people coming home from prison is wherever they go, they are seen as second-class citizens.
I passed the civil service test to work with the mentally challenged. I never got a job, and I always felt that was because of the fact that I was incarcerated.
You'll be there back next Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll go back to Prolo's next Tuesday. Prolo's not that bad. I think I can work with it. I'm going on an interview at the welfare department, and they're looking for a case manager. They contact me sometime this week, and they said, come on down Monday, so I'll be there tomorrow.
I became a member of the church about 18 years ago because part of that Project Connect agreement that you become a member of the church. You know, I had all kind of dreams, all kind of plans, but there's nothing like the reality of this freedom. I've been looking forward to seeing my family because this is the first time I've had the opportunity to see them since I was released from prison. They came from Georgetown, South Carolina. They left for about just before midnight last night. It was something I've been waiting for so long, you know, and now that it's here, I really don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. Oh, hey! What's up? How y'all doing? Give me a hug. You gonna give me no hug? You better give me a hug. We gonna have a lot of fun together, man. Come on, man. I gotta always reach up to hug you, man. After my son got married and they had their first child, I really missed that most of all because I remember when he was born. I will always be proud of him. That's it. Because
But you know what I want to ask you?
What?
Now that you out, it's like you're going to have to start from somewhere. You're going to have to start over.
Of course, that's what I'm doing now.
Why not Georgetown? The cost of living is cheaper. Everything is, you know, your family is there. You have help.
Yeah, the cost of living is high in New York, but I see something else in New York too.
What's that?
I mean, if the cost of living is high in New York, if you can provide a service or something in New York City, you can make a lot of money in New York too.
It's not like you're not coming back, you know, to nothing.
In 3 months, I'm gonna come down there and I'm gonna see.
And it has grown so much.
And which I have to.
It's time to change. It's time to change. It's time to change. It's time to change.
Connie Bois established Citizen Advocates for Justice in 1978. At that time, the prison population exploded and the women's prison population was growing more rapidly than the men. Somebody had to get out there and try to change some of those laws. Justice Works was born out of that strategic plan.
The persons who could be the best advocates were the prisoners and the ex-prisoners themselves. Instead of being an advocate on behalf of the poor and imprisoned, I wanted to train people to become their own advocates.
There are presently 3,455 people on death row in the United States. The names we are reading today are from the state of California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, and Florida.
For me, the importance of having Justice Works in the building is that it reminds us that we're not just about a worshiping community, but we're also about social transformation. It's not enough just to change individuals. We want to change society, that we want to change the conditions that have created this large prison industrial complex.
Victor Farr, Alfred Finney, and John Ferguson. Amen.
The challenge before Justice Works community is to continue to educate and mobilize people to recognize the waste of humanity behind bars.
Heal my wounded, broken spirit. Save me by thy grace.
I was on drugs. My mother was in prison. My father got executed in the United States. I was in foster care from the time I was born till I was 17 and a half. I had a lousy education, went back to school. Took me 15 years to get my BA cum laude, but I did it. Now I'm in graduate school. You could do it.
Rosemary came as an intern, and she lives in the neighborhood, lives with their partner in the neighborhood. And Rosemary wants to become an ordained Presbyterian minister.
In the Presbyterian church, there's this big schism. They do not want to ordain LGBT people. But, you know, to me, they're not God, you know. They can't tell me that I can't be a minister.